Sometimes I got to do it.
If everyone can find their seat, we'll go ahead and get started here just a moment.
That's the master, that's the mic.
Here at the Princess Anne Confederate Monument rededication. Princess
Forward the colors.
I don't think you can hear me. Oh, yeah, they did.
Jimmy, sir, I'm gonna get down here.
Or maybe not.
Advance the colors.
Mark. Halt. Halt. 2. Right. Dress up.
Please rise if you're able. We'll do the salute to the flag.
Present arms. Detail. Present arms.
The U.S. flag.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The flag of Virginia.
I salute the flag of Virginia with reverence, patriotic devotion to the mother of states and states which it represents, the Old Dominion, where liberty and independence are born.
and the Confederate flag. I pledge.
I salute the Confederate flag with affection and undying devotion to the cause for which it stands.
Amen.
You bad as me. You should know it by now, by heart, do you?
I should.
And now we'll have Lieutenant Commander Lee Pelton present the charge to the Sons of Confederate Veterans.
To you, sons of Confederate veterans, we will commit the vindication of the cause for which we fought. To your strength will be given the defense of the Confederate soldier's good name, the guardianship of his history, the emulation of his virtues, the perpetuation of those principles which he loved and which you love also, and those ideals which made him glorious and which you also cherish. Lieutenant General Stephen Dill Lee, Commander General.
Thank you. Bow your heads for the invocation. Almighty and everlasting God, we come before thee this day in reverent gratitude for thy mercies and in solemn remembrance of those who have gone before us. We thank thee for the fair land of Virginia, for her hills, her shores, her homes, and her heritage, and for the brave hearts who stood in defense of what was right and true. As we dedicate this monument to the valor and virtue of the sons of Princess Anne County, we beseech thee, O Lord, to sanctify this hour with thy presence. Grant, O Father, that peace and unity may dwell forever in this commonwealth and throughout our land. May love and charity prevail among all her people, and our nation may stand stronger in thy sight. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. You may be seated.
want to thank everybody for being here and sharing this glorious day with us. The Lord gave us a beautiful day today.
Amen.
We gather today beneath the open sky of old Princess Anne County to rededicate this monument to those who left their homes when summoned forth by that great General Robert E. Lee and went forth to serve Virginia in the time of her greatest trial. 160 years have passed since the war's red storm rolled across these fields and took so many from our hearts. The weapons are long laid aside, yet the memory of courage and sacrifice does not fade with the years. This monument was raised in remembrance. It's a token of respect for men who faced hardship and loss with steadfast hearts. It is a token of respect for the cause for which they fought and may have long since been judged by history, but the qualities they displayed, devotion to duty, endurance under suffering, and faith in what they believed to be right, are virtues that belong today to all mankind. We would do injustice to their memory if we forgot that behind every uniform was a father, a son, a brother, men who hoped, worked, prayed, and loved as we do now. In honoring them, we honor the universal bond of human loyalty and courage. Though we lost our republic at Appomattox, the spirit that moved our fathers has not perished. From the sacred soil of Virginia, this monument rises anew, a steadfast sentinel to valor, to duty, and to that undying love of home which no defeat could dim. As we rededicate it this day, let us remember not the sorrow of surrender, but the splendor of sacrifice, not the fall of the Confederacy, but the fidelity of a people who dared to defend their rights as they saw them under heaven. May this stone stand for generations yet unborn as a tribute to Southern courage, Southern faith, and Southern integrity. And as a lasting witness that though the flag they followed was furled, the honor of the South remains forever bright. May God bless the South.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask, if I can get it back up here. Wind's not helping today. Mike Armistead, our 1st Brigade Commander.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very happy to be here today. Proud to be here. And this thing making any noise?
A little bit.
Okay. All right. The main thing I want to say is a little bit of history on myself and some of my friends to this monument. And I'm glad to be here today in a friendly crowd because the last time I was next to this monument, myself, Bob Shirley over there, was in a not too friendly place. Down in the Municipal Center with, I don't know, a bunch of nuts, BLM, Antifa sitting around us, hollering and cursing like a bunch of nuts. But it seems like it wasn't that long before that we were there for a nice occasion. Say 2005, it was a grand ceremony there for the 100th anniversary that we attended. I mean, colored newspaper article. We were like the talk of the town back then. It was a beautiful ceremony like today's is. Everybody was there and celebrating. I don't think we get that kind of coverage in the newspaper today. I'll tell you one more little tidbit of Camp 9 at 13th Virginia with this monument. And that kind of ties into Kenny over here on my right, your left, sitting on the bench. The year was 2015. And we're right, I don't know, maybe a quarter mile, half mile from the monument. Frozen tundra. January, wasn't it, Kenny? January 2015, cold as whatever. Snow on the ground. And a dedicated group of people, very much like these dedicated people here today, were over there putting a cross of honor for Major Burroughs. And I mean, there was a bus out in that field that didn't even sink. The ground was so frozen. Well, we left there, our camp. We traveled just a short distance back to this monument, bundled up as bundled as we could be. And Mike Pullen was division commander at this time, and we swore in a couple of our officers there and 3 new members of our camp there because it was a special occasion to be down for Major Burroughs and near this monument that day. And it was an honor to be there for that also. So we're talking 2015. It wasn't 5 years later when the lies started coming out about these soldiers, and this is the result of this attacks on our ancestors. But it's still good to be here, and why it's good to be here, I'll tell you why it's good to be here. I was working for the city of Virginia Beach for quite a while, and this book over here, I urge you to look at by Kenny. Wrote this book. Kenny Harris. He'd worked with me at Virginia Beach for a little while before he retired, I think for the second time there. He liked to crash city vehicles or get crashed in city vehicles. He wasn't doing the crashing. But anyway, I said, Kenny, how about meet me out here and let's go for a ride? Of course, that turned into the longest lunch break I ever had. And Kenny took me around to show me the graves of all these men that fought for Princess Anne County. I came away from that with this. You can't hardly drive 2 miles in Princess Anne County without passing a Confederate grave. You might not know it, but I know it. Kenny took me to it. I met up with my camp, and we took the camp around. It was the last ride of that season, and it turned into the first ride of the next season because there were so many of them. And I'll tell you, very few were in any type of cemetery. Some were in little family cemeteries. We had to go around and get permission from homeowners first because we're going to place flags on these graves. Why are we getting permission from homeowners? These men are literally in front yards, side yards next to driveways. One of them was literally by an above ground pool and a trampoline in somebody's backyard, and we went there and put a flag for him. I mean, it's just incredible. We did it again a little bit this past summer. I mean, Charlie walked all the way out to that one across the street from Napa. These men are everywhere through this county, and to just think about what these men did, and all the ones, I don't know how many hundreds out here, but they all had stories. Up there by the Municipal Center, I passed again coming in. Oscar Styron, he was wounded in the lung, went to work for the North Carolina governor, died of his wounds, and his wife got him, brought it back here and buried on the family property. These men, their old homesteads are long gone now. And so they're just in people's yards now. But this monument, as we all know, is here for all those men as a memorial to their service and a memorial to all the ones that didn't make it back. And I'm very proud to be here. I'm very proud of each and every one of you that's here today. I'm proud of the men that work so hard to put this back up here. And I thank you for letting me attend and speak.
We appreciate everything you do for us, sir. Next Next, I'd like to invite Mike Hyman, from Commander of Military Order Stars and Bars 281.
Last time somebody gave me a microphone was on karaoke night. They drugged me off the stage, so please let me finish before you drag me off. When the County of Princess Anne put this monument up on November 5th, 1905, thousands of people were there to watch it go up. None of them would have realized that less than 100 years later, a crowd of Virginians was clamoring to tear this down. And if it wasn't taken down, they were going to take it down. The people that put this up worked so hard, saved to get enough money to put this up. To help of Princess Anne County, they were able to do so. They wanted to do something to honor their fathers, their brothers, and their uncles that died and were buried in far-off cemeteries, some not buried at all, just left on a battlefield. This was their tombstone. This is where their families came to honor and mourn their ancestors. People today take a complicated look at the Civil War. Or they always say, well, it was about slavery, or it's just white supremacy. You and I know better, and I could stand up here for hours and debating this, but you all know what I know. This happened, the crazy stuff around here happened when one deranged individual walked into a church and killed a bunch of people from a different race. Nobody here, nobody that I can think of stood up for that or applauded it. Yet, all of a sudden, these monuments and these flags are the reason that he killed those people. That's not true, and we all know that. People will always hate others. There's nothing we can do about that. We can just try to tell our truth and let things go from there. Not only did they take these monuments away, they dug up the bodies of some of the soldiers and their wives. Some of them still sitting in boxes and shelves. I don't know how anybody can justify that. We were lucky that the city of Virginia Beach allowed us to have this. Now, I'm not going to say this is ours and we did it all. If it wasn't for the Shenandoah Valley Association, the United Daughters of the Confederacy, the Sons of Confederate Veterans, the City Council, Bobby Knight, and I can name others. I just don't have all the names. But if I don't name you, please know that I am thinking about you, and I thank you for helping us get this monument put back up here. We have a time capsule here that we're going to bury and dig back up in 50 years. It's got coins, got the list of the soldiers from Prince Anne County, our membership now for our Sons of Confederate Veterans in Prince Anne County, the UDC's group, members are going in there, and hopefully, like I say, we'll dig it up in 50 years. Let's hope that when they dig this up, attitudes will have changed and people will not be looking at things like they do now. I do want to say one last thing. This is all because Will Agarn donated his property to the United Daughters of the Confederacy and the Sons of Confederate Veterans so we could have this. This was the main thing we had to do before the city would let us have it. Of course, we had other hoops we had to do. We had to get insurance and things like that, which the Shenandoah Valley Association helped us with. But if it wasn't for Will, this would have never had started. And I just want to thank Will now before I sit down. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. At this time, it is my distinct honor to bring to the podium our president for a few words. Mr. Davis.
Good evening. On behalf of the First Lady and myself, it is an honor to be here today. It is important that we're here to pay tribute to these fallen heroes. As I stand here today, I'm reminded of the thousands of people, the men that we lost, men who fought a good fight for a just cause, a cause they believed in, fighting to protect home and family and a way of life. They were all honorable men. They served their country well. These men overcame overwhelming odds, hot summers, harsh winters, hunger, many of them being away from home for the very first time, not knowing if or when they would ever see home again. Today, the simple implements of war will be used to honor these men. The saber is out of its scabbard. It is an instrument of war, but it will not be used today to draw a line in the sand, nor to take a life. Instead, it's thrust into the ground to pay tribute to our fallen heroes. A kepi is put atop of the saber. It is the soldier's hat. It protected him from the rain, shielded him from the sun, provided warmth in the cold of the winter. The color of the kepi is symbolic of the uniform he proudly wore. I know that his duties are all done and his obligations are complete. I know this because the kepi and the saber are here. He would not have left them behind had he not been through with them. Today, it is right that we do this. These men are our kindred, our Southern brothers. They fought hard for something that they believed in. Today, we are their living memorials, and we must do everything that we can to make sure the names and the legacies of these men live on. We must do everything that we can to ensure that the history of the South is not changed or destroyed. We do not have that right. It is our duty to teach it. General Robert E. Lee once said, we should always strive to do our duty. We can expect to do no more. We should wish to do no less. I have been asked if I knew then what I know now, would I still have done what I did? And the answer is yes. Because you see, I still believe in the cause. I still believe in state rights. And I still greatly believe in the South. May God bless you, and may He greatly bless the South. Thank you.
It was rather heartfelt the whole time you were talking about that. It was moving. That was okay. Now I would like to call to the podium Ms. Cora Scott, the General President of the Children of the Confederacy.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
On behalf of the Children of Confederacy, it is an honor to stand here as we remember the courage, sacrifice, and devotion of those who came before us. This monument reminds us that history is more than dates and names. It is the story of real people, families, and communities who gave themselves for what they believed in. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share in preserving the important part of our shared history. May we always remember, and may we always strive to live with the same dedication and strength that this monument represents.
Thank you. All right, at this time, I would like to ask Ms. Therese DeSanto, the historian of the Virginia Division, UDC. Yes, ma'am.
I want to recognize Cora first. We are so proud that you are our General President of the CFC. She is from Virginia. It is an honor and a privilege to bring you greetings from Virginia Division United Daughters of the Confederacy. As a Virginia Division historian, our Virginia Division President, Eleanor Price, has asked me to bring greetings as she is unable to be present today as she has been traveling back from the United Daughters of the Confederacy General Convention in Houston, Texas. Historic preservation is an important way for us to continue telling the stories of our Southern ancestors for future generations. We must recognize that these monuments are an important part of the preservation of our history. Virginia Division of the UDC is thankful to everyone who stepped forward to save this monument. I want to recognize several individuals and groups who were instrumental in saving our monument. Kenny Harris and Ann and Al Henley. I cannot say enough about how instrumental you have been in saving our soldier. I must mention several others. I know I'm not listing everybody, but I want to start with our dear friend and Kenny's mother, Ruby Harris. She's watching from above. Her passion did not allow this monument to fade away. With Kenny, Al, and Ann Henley, they kept us informed of all the ongoing status of saving our monument, our soldier. There are many other folks who work behind the scenes to make today a celebration. Special thank you to Will Agorn, who we are so thankful for your the land and helping to make this happen. David Trimmer, Director of the Department of Agriculture, all the ladies of the Princess Anne UDC, the men of Princess Anne Sons Camp, and the Shenandoah Valley Battlefield. Without everyone's support, today would not be happening. The Princess Anne UDC ladies will be dedicating a bench in the near future in honor of several of our ladies that are no longer with us. In closing, always remember our ancestors lived through us, and it is our responsibility to strive to honor that history and to keep it alive. Nobody has the right to erase our history. Thank you.
All right, thank you. At this time, I'd like to call the Virginia Division First Lieutenant Commander Mike Poland.
Hey, they try to dress me up.
You can read my notes.
Thank you, Commander Rose. It's my honor to be here today. I'm the First Lieutenant Commander of Virginia Division, Sons of Confederate Veterans. About 12 years ago, I was commander of the Virginia Division, and I succeeded Commander Rose right here. So we have a long history. I've spent some time with this monument. Of course, those all is down near the courthouse. And as Mike Armistead said earlier, I remember one day we was down there and it was about 2 degrees outside. And I was trying to dress to be pretty, suit, because I had a speaking part. Not good on a 2-degree day. But what a beautiful day we're blessed with today. And somebody knew that. They knew it. I'm a retired school teacher. I did 33 years in Chesapeake and Portsmouth. Over that time, I've seen indoctrination of our youth, big time. I was also on the National Education Committee. We have a heck of a curriculum for our history. Public schools won't pick it up. They're scared of it because of this indoctrination that's going on and continues to go on. What has been done here, I looked at the craftsmanship and the work. Y'all did a heck of a job here, and hats off to everybody involved in this. You can look at the workmanship. You can look at the love, the pride of it. That's what we need to do more of in the state of Virginia. And I hope the Virginia Division can help a lot in that area. We're not going to be able to fight the liberal ones that hate us. We're not going to be able to fight them with money. We got to fight them in different ways, and you all have done that. We got to keep that. We have monuments out here. It's called the blood in our veins of being from the Confederacy. They can't take that away from us. As long as we stick together and do stuff like we're seeing today, God will vindicate. May God bless you all. May God bless the South.
Thank you, everyone, for those warm greetings. And before we bring up our guest speaker, they gave me too many parts. Okay, Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce a man who has done more than anyone to preserve the history and heritage of Princess Anne County. As past commander of the Princess Anne Camp and our unofficial county historian, Kenny Harris has become the go-to authority, the true guru on all things Confederate in our community. Through his dedication, research, and unwavering commitment, much of our local history has been preserved and will be remembered the right way. In fact, it's safe to say that one of the biggest reasons we have possession of this monument today is because of his tireless work and steadfast leadership. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Kenny Harris.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
For those of you that don't know me, I'm Kenneth Harris. I'm an author, but first and foremost, I'm a historian. You can purchase one of my books over there. They're on the table over there. I'm selling them for $20 a piece. All proceeds are going to go to the fence that we're going to erect around this monument for future protection of it. And also, a quick note, after the ceremony, folks, we've got pork barbecue and all the fixings over there. Please stick around for that. But right now, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the history of this monument. It all began in the spring of 1900, when then former Confederate veteran Major John Thomas Woodhouse, with his wife Virginia, were elected to head a committee in search for a stone carver to begin work on a Confederate monument that was to be erected in Princess Anne County in memory of the Confederate dead. Charles Miller Walsh, the owner of Cockade Marble Works in Petersburg, Virginia, was commissioned for the job. As Walsh was a renowned sculptor and had already been commissioned by other municipalities throughout the Commonwealth for the very same reason, to sculpt Confederate soldiers for monuments. Sadly, shortly after Walsh began the carving of the Princess Anne Monument, he passed away. Walsh had two sons, Charles Ritchie Walsh and Everett Walsh, both renowned sculptors in their own right. Walsh's son, Charles Ritchie, would end up completing the statue for the monument. All the while, the committee that was responsible for the erection of the monument was busy back in Princess Anne County petitioning the courts of appeals and the board of supervisors to appropriate no less than a sum of $500 from the county for the erection of the said monument. And on April 4th, 1903, the county indeed gave approval for the monument and appropriated the money. On Wednesday, October 19th, 1904, Masons from Princess Anne County and the city of Norfolk, who had also were Confederate veterans, came together on the grounds of Princess Anne County Courthouse and began laying the pedestal for which the statue was erected upon. That granite pedestal there, you see where the statue's on. Lost my place. In the cornerstone of the pedestal was placed a time capsule, and in the time capsule, the following items were placed: a roster of the Princess Anne Masonic Lodge, number 25 AF and AM, a roster of the Princess Anne Camp, number 96 Confederate Veterans, a roster of the Princess Anne Chapter, number 435 United Daughters of the Confederacy, a roster of the Princess Anne Camp, number 484 Sons of Confederate Veterans, a roster of Company G, 16th Virginia Infantry, organized by Captain John Thomas Woodhouse on April 17, 1861, a picture and pair of gloves of Dr. Francis Anthony Walk, former surgeon from Princess Anne County and surgeon in the Confederate Army, a picture of Old Blandford Church in Petersburg, Virginia, where thousands of Confederate soldiers were laid to rest, Confederate veteran James Hill Bonney deposited some old coins and a $20 Confederate note. Confederate veteran C.L. Griffin deposited a $100 Confederate note. Confederate veteran Oswald B. Mears deposited another $20 Confederate note. James Milner Keeling deposited a $10 Confederate note. And A.F. Herbert deposited a $5 Confederate note. A. Tatum deposited an ancient penny of the Royal Arch, Chapter 1 of Norfolk, and also placed in the time capsule were cards of Right Worshipful Master Henry L. Turner, past masters William H. Minor and Alex T. Hoffheimer, along with a copy of the Norfolk newspaper Landmark dated October 19, 1904. This is what the Virginia Pilot published the day after that ceremony on November. The dedication was November 15th, 1905 for this monument. And on November 16th, 1905, the day after that ceremony, on a Thursday, the ceremony was on a Wednesday, the pilot wrote, Confederate monument unveiled. With a rebel yell and 3 elegant addresses, Princess Anne's shaft was formally dedicated at the courthouse. Amid the sound of martial music and the rebel yell and hundreds of Confederate veterans and the cheers of 1,500 spectators from the surrounding territory of Norfolk, Portsmouth, and Berkeley, the Confederate monument of the Confederate heroes of Princess Anne County was unveiled yesterday at the courthouse. The shaft, the handsome shaft, wrought in Virginia granite and polished and unpolished, was greatly admired and reflected much credit of the Princess Anne Daughters of the Confederacy, whose efforts it was made possible. From the base of the unpolished stone, rough-hewn, the shaft arises on the lawn of the east of the courthouse. The center of the pile is a Corinthian effect, overtopped with a step roof on the top of which stands a splendid statue of a private soldier, perfect down to the minutest detail. Uniform, slouch hat, baggy breeches, canteen, rolled blanket, mustache, and goatee stand out, distinguishing as well as characteristically Southern. The shaft was erected at a cost of $2,000, and the work was done in Petersburg. As you can see, there's some inscriptions on this monument. The inscriptions are as follows. On the south side of the monument, which is the side you're looking at right now, it says 1861, Virginia, 1865. On the polished surface below that is the coat of Virginia arms and the motto, Sic Septer Tyrannis. And below that, in the frontage, are the letters Princess Anne County Confederate Heroes. On the north side, on the polished granite surface between the Corinthian pillars, appears the distinct lettering, Your arms are stacked, your splendor colors are furled. Your drums are steel. Aside, your trumpets lay. On the west side, on the polished surface, the date erected 1905. The beautiful exercises with which the unveiling of the shaft was marked will long linger as a pleasant memory with all who were present. There was inspiration for the speakers of the occasion in a large crowd present, and the cheers of the amens of the old veterans and the encouraging smiles of young women and children, in the deep attention shown by the younger men, and in the happy tears of the mothers of the Confederacy, many of whom were guests of honor on the dedication. It was a red-letter day in the history of Princess Anne County. Judge J.M. Keeling of Norfolk and commander of the Pickett Buchanan Camp was master of ceremonies, presiding with old-time Southern grace and introducing the various speakers most eloquently. The oration of the day was delivered by Dr. Vines and was a masterpiece of diction. Thoughtful, teeming with humor, and burning with eloquence. He compared Southern heroes with others in the world's history to show that valor in generalship and manhood and in piety, Lee, Jackson, and a host of other Southern leaders were head and shoulders above them all. He paid a glowing tribute to the privates of the Confederate Army, thousands whom lay in unmarked graves of many battlefields, made the generals and the history of that god-awful war. He confessed that words could not give expression to their greatness. Dr. Vines also paid a glowing tribute to the women of the Confederacy, who he declared were braver than the men. He declared that the South was not whipped, it was starved out. They did not lack heroes, they lacked rations. The ethical reason he drew from the awful war was that all great moments cost the blood of heroes, and it was shed in the South. The Civil War, that awful war, was the great storm that swept over the land to reveal a gold mine, a new South, with its fertile fields, its wonderful natural advantages, the brightest and best country the light of God's sun ever shined on. In closing, Dr. Vines said the old veterans gathered that as they passed over to the other side, he hoped that they would say, as Jackson said, "I shall rest in the shade of the trees." With the concluding words of Dr. Vines' address, Miss Grace Prince, dressed in a cream creation of exquisite beauty, trimmed in bright red and wearing a red hat to match, the combination making the colors of the Confederacy. Gracefully, she hauled to the ground the white curtain that veiled the monument from the view of the, and a shout went out from the large crowd. The ladies quickly adorned the shaft with many beautiful flowers. Next to speak was Captain J.J. Burris, affectionately known as Captain Jack. He was representing Princess Anne County, accepting the monument from the Princess Anne Confederate camp. The speaker quickly won the attention and sympathy of the large audience and grew eloquent in the telling of the historical manner in which the county received its name. He complimented the camp on their work, resulting in the erection of the magnificent pile and lasting memorial. He completed the county of Princess Anne. He complimented the county of Princess Anne in that John Atkins was the first Virginian to shed his lifeblood in the War of the Revolution for the freedom of the United States. Captain Burris' references were of a historical nature and well received. He referenced to the private soldiers of the Confederate Army were eloquent and inspiring. A magnificent tribute, it won the rebel yell of the old soldiers present. He characterized them as unique figures in the history of the world. Future generations, he declared, would grow up to call the Confederate private blessed. He closed with a glowing tribute to the women of the Confederacy. They were worthy companions of Lee and Jackson, Stewart and Mahone. The soldiers were upheld on the wings of their hope and inspired by their encouraging sweet smiles. Without the women, there would have been no Confederacy. The splendid oration was cheered to the echoes. Next to speak was Captain A.A. Spritzer of Norfolk, and he had composed a poem some years ago in Raleigh calling on the legislature of the state to give veterans bread as well as stones, and making their appropriations by providing for the old soldiers' home. The poem was well received. The closing address of the day was by Colonel George C. Cabell, who represented the Sons of Confederacy. It was a magnificent effort and made the hit of the day. He paid glowing tributes to the generals of the Confederacy, the privates in the ranks, and historic women who worked and strived at home for the success of the war. By figures, he showed that while only 9% of Union soldiers held as prisoners died, that 12% of the Southern soldiers held in northern prisons died, thus reputing the charge of cruel treatment by Southern officers. He also declared that Northern officers refused to exchange prisoners in insulting language. He closed with an enlargement of the Bible access paraphrase, "Greater love hath no man than this, that he lay down his life for his country." And this the Southern soldier did. Norfolk, Portsmouth, Berkeley were all well represented at the unveiling between 1 and 4, going down at 9:30 yesterday morning and returning by special train in the afternoon. A large number of ladies were numbered in the party. Among the camp organizations represented by large delegations were Pickett Buchanan Camp of Norfolk, Stonewall Camp of Portsmouth, and Nehemiah Shaw Camp of Berkeley, the latter being accompanied by their bugle and drum corps. The day was an ideal for an outdoors celebration, and entire program was passed off without an incident of marring nature. It was a successful day. And I want to thank you folks for being out here today. Like I said, that's just a little bit of the history that's behind this monument. There again, I'd like to thank several people, Mr. Will Agon especially. We can't thank him enough. He, along with the Shenandoah Valley Battlefield Foundation, and the Princess Anne United Daughters of Confederacy and the Princess Anne Sons of Confederate Veterans, we got this, Will donated this property to us right about where we are now, this little piece of property in the right-of-way to get to this monument in perpetuity. In other words, no matter what happens to this property in the future, no matter what happens to Mr. Agon in the future, this monument is here in perpetuity. We've got a lawyer, and God bless Eddie Verdon. He helped us in the legal fight against the city with this. He's got a copy of this. Mr. Agon's got a copy of this. I've got a copy of all this stuff. Like I said, this monument, we've got records all over this city saying that this monument cannot be moved no matter what. It is here in perpetuity. So I would like to thank Mr. Will Agon again for that. I'd also like to thank Mr. Kevin Walker. He is the president of the Shenandoah Valley Battlefield Foundation, and he was very instrumental in helping us get this monument here. Again, I'd like to thank Mr. Attorney Eddie Verdon. He did everything for us, and God bless him, he did it pro bono for us, and we can't thank him enough. I also want to thank Ann and Al Henley for all their effortless work with me helping on this thing. We couldn't have done it without him. I'd also like to thank Delegate Barry Knight. God bless him. Right now I know he's battling cancer and whatnot. So if you would keep your thoughts and prayers with Barry, I sure would appreciate it. He was very instrumental in helping us as well. Travis Fox, he did all the engineering, the survey work and whatnot and everything for us. I want to thank Travis for that. He did all that, again, at no cost to the camp and everything, because the city needed the layout, in the site work and all being done, and they had to have all that. So Travis did that for us, and we thank you so much, Travis. We appreciate that, buddy. And there's so many other people I'd like to thank, but I know I'm getting long-winded here. So, like I said, I want to thank everybody again for being here today. This monument will be here for the duration, and we're going to try, the Princess Anne Sons of Confederate Veterans, along with the ladies of the UDC, we're going to try to keep this monument looking as good as we can and as best we can. We did a lot of work out here. There was a lot of tree removal that had to be done, a lot of site work, grading work, topsoil hauled in, you name it. But we did it, and we're going to keep it this way. And we just want to know that all you folks, if you ever come by here, feel free to come up here and take a look and honor our Confederate veterans. Thank you.
time, I'd like to bring Ms. Therese DeSanto back up, the historian from the Virginia Division UDC, to give us a little bit of insight from the daughter's view.
Several years ago, when I was this is my second term as Virginia historian, the first time we had started looking at our history of all of our chapters, and I had asked all the chapters to submit an update of their chapter histories. And at that time, I was a UDC president for Princess Anne for the 6-year time frame. I found that there was almost zero information about the original chapter for Princess Anne. And so I did a lot of research. I went to Richmond, just looked through manuals and all kinds of records. And after all the research, I found that Princess Anne chapter in Virginia Beach was originally chartered by 7 women in January 14, 1901. Mrs. Virginia Whitehurst Woodhouse was elected president with a membership of 22. With most of these women, they were spouses, sisters, children, or nieces of the soldiers in the area. This was very interesting, I was able to discover the initial purpose of the chapter was to unveil a Confederate monument at the Princess Anne Monument. That's actual documented and records that show that. Much of the early work of the chapter involved obtaining approval for the Princess Anne Monument. On April 4th, 1903, the Princess Anne Camp of Confederate Veterans and Mrs. Virginia Woodhouse, representing the Princess Anne chapter of the Confederacy, petitioned the General Assembly for permission to place a monument on the Princess Anne Courthouse. I hope that's not B. The women of the chapter were primary sponsors of the monument, with the Princess Anne Mason Lodge number 25 and the Princess Anne Sons of the Confederate Veterans. The chapter regularly met at the Mason building, and the daughters periodically furnished dinners to the Masons of Princess Anne. On January 19, 1903, the chapter held a Confederate reunion, at which time the chapter bestowed several crosses of honor to the veterans of this county. On July 1903, they held a reunion at the Princess Anne Courthouse with speeches by several distinguished guests, including Governor Montague and General Fitzhugh Lee. At the October 1903 Virginia Convention, this is written by one of the chapter members, ladies of the chapter submitted this report. They made a box of fancy articles and sent them to Jefferson Davis Bazaar in Richmond to have fundraising for the monument. The second vice president was Miss Grace Woodhouse. She did a watercolor painting, and it sold for $10 at the bazaar. We do not know what that painting looked like. We would love to find it. And then in 1904, Virginia Division has records and minutes that show that the monument is certain. The cornerstone was laid by at a Masonic ceremony, and a large crowd was present, and then a dinner of Lynnhaven oysters and ice cream was served. They said that the daughters felt that the people of this county were very generous. On the day of the unveiling, November 15, 1905, which Kenny talked about, 1,500 people from across Tidewater, including Norfolk and Portsmouth, were present for the unveiling. Dinner was served after by ladies of Princess Anne. Though the year's membership diminished, and that was after the death of the Miss Woodhouse, who was majority of the president all the years. 1 year later, on September 8, 1928, the chapter disbanded. Fast forward 68 years later, Princess Anne was reactivated on July 30th, 1996. The chapter today remains very active. It has a healthy membership. For years after the reactivation, they were meeting regularly at a historic Ferry Plantation, and they sponsored many Civil War days at the plantation. The chapter did participate in the 100th anniversary of Princess Anne Monument in 2005. They also participated in April of 2007 in the unveiling of Grace Sherwood's statue of the Witch of Pungo. One of the associate members was one of the organizers of that. Our chapter like I said, we remain very active, benevolent, memorial, patriotic. We sponsored the restoration of Stratford Hall's famous notch tree portrait of Robert E. Lee with an approximate fundraising goal of $2,500. We were able to they completed the restoration in August of 21. The chapter traveled to Stratford Hall, and we were presented the restored portrait on October 14, 2022. It remains at Stratford Hall. And the ladies of attendance, we were very honored to be given the opportunity, all of us, to hold the battle hat, one of them that belongs to Robert E. Lee. So that was my second time. That was their first time. The chapter remains very active supporting veterans at local veteran hospitals and overseas. We actually sponsored a special ops Green Beret stationed in the Middle East. And we continue to support Virginia Beach's vet house since 2007. In 2022, we adopted nursing home residents at the Our Lady of Perpetual Health in Virginia Beach, and we're very proud that last year we sponsored the Connect with a Wish foster program in Virginia Beach, which is really for foster children and supplying them with things. It was amazing the work that we've done with them. And we encourage all ladies of Southern Heritage to look at joining a UDC chapter. There are 10 chapters that are in the 6th district from the Hampton Roads area to Peninsula. If you are a lady and you are not a member, I encourage you to talk to one of us. Some of us have pins, and we will happy to work with you to find your Confederate ancestor. We can't let history die. Thank you.
At this time, we'll have the wreath presentation, so if you have a wreath to present. From the Princess Anne SCV Camp 484, compatriot Scott Brisbaugh. They're taking the scenic route just a second. You just put them right across the front of the monument. Scott, thank you. From Major Edgar Burroughs, Military Order of Stars and Bars, Commander Mike Hyman. Tom Smith, SCV Camp 1702, Commander Mike Pullen, our past commander. Past everything. From the Norfolk County Grays, SCV Camp 1549, past commander Mark Johnson. From the Rebecca Lloyd tab, Gloucester UDC, Chapter 107, Mrs. Donna Robinson, Chapter President. Thank you, ma'am. Either way. Yep. From the Virginia Order of Confederate Rose, President Sam Winkler. We have the Stonewall Jackson Camp, number 380, SCV, being presented by Ms. Jerry Reason. And as most of us are very used to, doing double duty for the Dixie Bells Chapter 18 OCR, Miss Jerry Reason. Thank you. And this time I would like to turn it back over to our Memorial Guard, who will direct your attention.
Attention, detail. Shoulder, arm. Right, face. Forward, march. Load, come to the shoulder. Present, arm.
Go ahead.
May God bless you, and may God bless Dickie. If you rise with your rise with your table, please. Bless our land, O God. Grant us shoulder on. Right, face. Counter march by files to the right. March. Right. The other right. Will. Thank you.
Nope. Not quite yet.
I just wanted to tell you, I always see you too busy. I just want to make sure you know, keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Hopefully have a chance a little later.
Easy.
I'll be around, so
All
let's
right.
chat with you.
God bless you.
Thank you. What a great service today. Great service, wonderful service for the dedication ceremony of the Princess Anne Confederate Memorial right here. Originally dedicated back in 1905. Removed 115 years later, back in 2020. Reinstalled here within the county, here in Princess Anne County. Finally dedicated today, 5 years after it was removed. What a great day. Wonderful speeches, great commentary, wonderful service here. Beautiful weather, just absolutely perfect. You heard a long list of all those who made this possible, and I'm very grateful to all those who made this memorial possible, to bring it here, to re-erect it here, so it's not in long-term storage or somewhere else in the country, or worse yet, something else. Truly a very important war memorial to those who answered the call, who did their duty to serve and protect and defend their homes, their families, their homelands in America's largest, deadliest war. The war that took place right here in America, affected all men, women, and children of all religions, all races. It's certainly very important to have a war memorial like this. All right, gonna get over here.
Everybody ready? All right, say Dixie. Dixie. I get one too. I need you. Okay, I'm good. Y'all good?
Thank you all. That was wonderful today. Thank you.
Because she gets back from convention. It needs to be for the magazine. Can you do another one of this? Of us? Judy.
Oh, I see what you're saying, like you have somebody.
I'm not putting the whole line.
I got it. Right. No, I mean, like, and registrar helps with the application. Yeah. So.
And it's just like,
Yeah, man, I'm gonna get out here.
it's like this.
It don't matter.
You post somebody. You post somebody.
Oh, I guess I should have got a picture first, huh? Not like I can't run back down here.
Well, I captured a lot of it on video for you.
All right.
The newest dedicated Confederate memorial in the country right here. Princess Anne County Confederate Memorial here just south of Virginia Beach, Virginia, right in the far southeast corner of the state. That's good.
All right. Okay, all right, gentlemen. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. I'll edit these so they'll get some of the shadow, sun, and balance. Okay, and then after the ladies are done, we'll go here to the monument. Can I get my color guard in the back with the flags up so we'll get some more color there, and the honor guard in the front? Sound good? All right.
It's the Virginia OCR right here, Dixie Bells, Chapter 18. It's the Stonewall Camp 380, Sons of Confederate Veterans.
Yo, I've already put this, all right? We're gonna
They said I had to rotate it with the landscape.
All right, are you good?
I'm good. I'm
All right,
good.
come on, gentlemen. Let's get it done. I didn't want to mess you up.
You're fine, thanks.
You know? Okay. Come on, like three. Your cover back here in order to I want them up.
Actually, I drove
Right, now the rest of you line up in front of them, and I need to get back. Excuse me, sir. I can't get the picture.
I'm trying to get the picture.
I maybe so that I still need more space. All right. And I need you to step back. I can't get the. I'm trying to get the whole statue in the gentleman in front.
Oops.
Crazy. Oh, I like it. Do another one.
Love it.
That's good.
No.
You can turn it around that way. Turn around this way.
I don't know who's handing them out.
I need another one too. I wouldn't give one to for the UDC.
What's the money?
All right. Suck them in, boys.
Hold on.
All right, gentlemen. One, two, three. One, two, three. And my backup. Well, I gotta have a backup.
I fully understand.
You know that, right? We all have
Fully
that
understand. That's what I had. I had 2 video cameras running, one as a backup.
backup. I'm good with you. Thank
Just in case.
Can we get one with President Davis and Marina in front of us?
Right
there. They're right in front of you. There's Dave.
well, they would like to have you in the picture. Mrs. Davis, they'd like to have you in the picture as well. Take your glasses off. Somebody will spank us for that.
We got the sword in hand.
Okay, I cannot see my color guard in the back. There you go.
stand them on tip two.
We gotta reorganize this. There you go. That'll work. Yeah.
That's why I'm president, y'all.
That's it, you're president. For all the good ideas. Well, we won't see them. We'll pretend.
Oh, that works. That works well.
Oops, I gotta go back. Sorry, folks. All right, look at me.
Let me get out of your way.
Gotta go. All right, and you're in my way. You're in my frame. Okay. 1, 2, 3. That's a great picture. Okay, let me get a.
Oh yeah.
Back up.
So glad Judy's here for this.
What?
So glad you're here for this.
All done. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. I beat somebody up for that.
I love it. You need to. You need to.
Well, you have to do it. Here is my card, sir. Go.
For those of you just joining us, we're at the concluded the Princess Anne County Confederate Monument rededication here, Virginia Beach, Virginia. And it is now time to enjoy a nice barbecue and butts. I'll tell you what, if you are not here, you are missing out. What a great day. Gotta get a picture of that. And there. Oh yeah. Well, you gotta.
They don't have any pictures of people. They got pictures of food. We need to get the pictures right now.
Gotta capture all the action, all this good stuff here.
You made it.
Yes. Oh, you are? Good to see you again.
Good to see you. You know, you can't go wrong with it. You're going to go for seeking. It's a good picture right there.
It is.
With this one.
This one's actually, I'm doing that one live on Dixie Forever right now. Yeah.
Look, you turn it just a little bit like that. Oh, yeah. It's more straight and it's in your thirds right. That sits on a third line.
I love it. Yeah, you're right.
I can't help myself.
It's in your blood, it's in your being.
That's it.
Always good to see you.
Good to see you again.
We will get a better view of this cake that's right here.
How far are you, Betty?
Excuse me.
Good to you, Tom.
All right, get a close close up of the wreaths here. And then I'll get ready to finish this video up after this. Norfolk Grays. Beautiful day out here. Wonderful ceremony, wonderful service, the rededication of the Princess Anne Memorial. Princess Anne County Confederate Heroes. Thank you to everybody who made this possible. It's a wonderful day.